Hello children, today we will be doing the third lesson from your grammar, that is active and passive voice. Let's see what do you mean by an active voice and what do you mean by passive voice. Generally in English we have two types of voice, that is active voice and passive voice. Now what do you mean by an active voice? In an active voice the subject is doing the action, and in the passive voice subject generally receives the action. Here the subject is doing the action, he is performing the action, and in the passive voice the subject generally receives the action. Let's see some examples here. For example, the first one we are doing, it's an example from your textbook only. The magician took a hat. So here this magician is the subject and hat is the object. Okay, magician is the subject and what did he take? A hat. So hat becomes the object. So this hat is the object. What happens in the passive voice? This is the active voice. What happens in the passive voice? We make this object in the beginning. A hat was taken by the magician. A hat was taken by the magician. So here whatever is the subject has come here. So magician becomes a receiver of the action. And we start the sentence with the object. A hat was an object here. There we have taken it as the beginning of the sentence. A hat was taken by whom? By the magician. Now remember children, when you convert from active to passive, we generally use the word by. Generally use the word by. Not always, but we mostly use the word by. Second example, Roshni sang a song. This is the subject. Here this becomes the object. Roshni sang a song. In the passive voice, a song was sung by Roshni. So Roshni has sung a song, that is okay. But when it becomes to a passive voice, you bring a song, the object, to the beginning, and we write a song was sung by Roshni. Okay. The third one is the hunter killed a lion. Hunter is the subject, lion is the object. The hunter killed a lion. And in the passive voice you will say a lion was killed by the hunter. So the position of the object and subject changes, and in the active voice the subject is performing or doing the action. In the passive voice the subject becomes the receiver of the action. He is receiving the action. Is it clear children? So now what do you mean by transitive and intransitive verbs? Let's see that. Verbs in a sentence which require a direct object, verbs which require a direct object to complete their meaning are called transitive verbs. Transitive verbs have direct object. For example, she ate an apple. So here an apple is a direct object. So this sentence is in active voice. So this is an active voice. So as this sentence is in active voice, we can change it into passive voice. What happened? An apple was eaten by her. Was eaten, and we have used the word her. The word she has changed into her. The word she is in active voice. When it came to passive voice, we have used the word her, not she. The word she changes to her. Pronouns change from active to passive voice. Now, as this sentence has an object, subject and an object, an apple, hence we could convert it into a passive voice. But those sentences which don't have a direct object, we cannot convert it into passive voice. Let's see. The children clapped loudly. In this sentence, you can see the children is the subject. But there is no object here. There is no object. So it is intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs cannot be changed into passive voice. So we cannot write the passive form of this. The children clapped loudly. We cannot make the sentence into passive voice. Okay. In the next example, I told you children, we generally use the word by here. So see how the word by is used. We generally use the by, word by from active to passive voice. She drew a picture. In this sentence, this is subject and a picture is the object. So, in the next sentence you see, it's written as a picture, it became beginning of the sentence. A picture was drawn again by her. The word she changed to her. A picture was drawn by her. When we convert from active to passive voice, we generally use the word by. In the active voice, the subject performs the action. In the passive voice, the subject receives the action. Now, let's see how we change a pronoun from active voice to passive voice. In active to passive voice, generally the pronouns change. In active voice, if the pronoun is a subject in the active voice, it generally changes into passive voice. It becomes the object. For example, the word I. The word I will change into the word me. It is I, a subject in a I sang a song. I is a subject here. But when you convert it into passive voice, a song was sung by me. You have written the word me. So from active to passive voice, pronouns generally change. The word I, which was a subject in active voice, became object and converted into the word me. The same way, second example is we. If we use the word we as a subject in an active voice, it changes to the word us. It changes to the word us. Let's see one example. We are making a card. So this is plural. This is plural we. That's why I have used the word are. But they all are making one card, a card, that is singular. When it comes to the passive voice, a card is, because only one card is being made, so a card is being made by us, the word us. So you can see the word we changed into us. Now, in the same way, almost all the pronouns change when they convert from active to passive voice. Let's see the next word. The word he will change into him. The word she will change into her. The word they will change into them. The word you will be same, you only. And the word it also remains the same, that is it. Is it clear, children? Now, we move on to the next one. That is subject-verb agreement. The subject should agree with the verb. If the subject is plural, verb has to be. If the subject is singular, the verb used also should be according to the subject used. Let's see. The tailor stitched a gown. There is only one tailor here, singular. One tailor stitched a gown. Only one gown was stitched by the tailor. So here the tailor is a subject and gown is the object. When we write it into, this is the active voice, children. This is active voice. So how to convert it into passive voice? How to convert it into passive voice? A gown, only one gown, no? A gown. As it is only one gown, we have used the word was. A gown, that is singular. A gown was stitched by the tailor. So again, only one tailor, but he has stitched only one gown. As it is one gown, we have used was here. In the second sentence, the tailor stitched the gowns. So it is more than one, isn't it? More than one it is. So what will you write? The gowns. As we have used the gowns, plural is here, we use the word were. Was and were. This is for plural. The gowns were stitched by the tailor. One tailor only. But here you see the subject should agree with the verb. Subject should agree with the verb. If the subject is singular, verb should be singular. subject is plural, the verb should be plural. It is very important for you should be knowing this rule of subject-verb agreement. So here, now I come to the end of this first video. In the first video, you should be remembering what is subject-verb agreement, what is an active voice, what is a passive voice, how to convert a sentence from active to passive voice, and how we generally use the word by to change a sentence from active to passive voice. Is it clear, children? Thank you, children.